Yes, I am Colombian. And when people find out I'm Colombian, they assume I have either smoked weed or snorted some cocaine. The way you're thinking right now and doubting my previous statement. New acquaintances bring their index finger to the tip of their nose and flick it while saying, Colombia, you say. After they ask me about cocaine, they will inevitably ask if I had ever met either of the most famous Colombians, Pablo Escobar or Shakira. My responses have been canned for precisely these situations. I never got to try all of our good drugs because greedy gringos were the biggest, highest bidders, and cartels believe in open market policies. As for Escobar, I never had the pleasure. And for Shakira, I'm sure we will get something set up once my restraining order expires. The truth is, I never smoked pot because my mom scared me to death about trying it. Carlos Eduardo, you are asthmatic. And if you ever decide to smoke marijuana, it will probably be your last decision because you will most certainly die. Once I became older and understood that not everything my mom said was accurate, I really had no appeal for starting to smoke in the reefer. I just didn't like the idea of losing control like that until I married my wife, or I got engaged to her. My wife's cousins, Brittany and Anthony, organized our bachelorette party. They rented a party bus and invited 40 of her friends to tour 3 wineries in Sonoma County. It was epic. At the second winery, we all walked out of the bus, and Blake, Brittany's husband, produced what I have known to be technically described as a doobie. He lit it up and offered it to me. At that moment I thought, why not? All my life I have been a goody two-shoes, which is how I used to say goody two-shoes. And I was. I went to college right after I graduated from high school. I immigrated to the United States and my college credits did not immigrate with me. So I started all over again and I went to college again and held 2 jobs while doing it. And then I graduated and I met my wife while doing it. I committed to her and I would be married before my 30th birthday. I felt like a good guy. Why not let loose a little? And I was sure that one little puff was not going to make me into the drug addict I always feared. So I took the ganja and smoked it. And when I had taken the puff, Blake said, "Now inhale." At this point, I thought he was clearly taking advantage of me because I had never smoked weed. I didn't inhale, and I handed the joint back to him. Once was enough. I didn't know how strong the weed was, and I had heard that before continuing to consume drugs, you need to know how strong they are or how they're hitting you. The entire group swore to me that I had to inhale, but at this time I thought all of them were in this massive conspiracy to kill me. Maybe the paranoia came from the one uninhaled puff of weed. A few days later, my wife told me how President Obama confessed to smoking and inhaling marijuana, a jab at President Clinton's statement that he smoked it but didn't inhale it. At that moment, I felt very close to Clinton. I understood what he said because I had done the same. It made me trust him more and believe him when he said, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." It is with that same trust that I can stand here before you today and say, I did not have inhaling relations with that woman, Miss Maria Juana.